Hi, my name is Stephanie and this is Chelsea, and we are the co-founders of CS Planners. And today we have Daniel with us.
Daniel McClen is the founder of Soulless Jewelry. He has worked in finance for over 10 years, and with his knowledge of business plans and forecasting, he was able to transform his business that started in the corner of his room into a six-figure income. So thank you so much for joining us, Daniel. We're excited to have you here with us.
No, thanks for having me.
So you started an e-commerce store. Now, can you tell us how that started and why you started that?
Yeah, no problem. Obviously, working for someone else, it's limited income. I was working long hours, and I just found that I just, no matter how far I progressed in my career, I never felt that fulfillment that I thought I was going to. So I found I was kind of looking for a business idea for a while, and my girlfriend at the time, I was trying to find her a birthday present, which was earrings, because every time she'd bought some, she would really struggle with wearing them comfortably. They would experience pain. And when I was doing my research, I found that up to 1 in 7 people suffer from that. So I thought, oh, that's a big market.
Yeah.
I can't find any that I would personally want to gift. So that's where it started. And, you know, just built it up. Platforms like Shopify make it really, really easy to use, really easy to build a website for someone with no experience. That's how I got started.
That's what we were going to ask. Like, what platforms did you find really beneficial for starting an e-commerce store?
Yeah, so I would definitely say Shopify. I've done some work with other brands on WordPress. And I'd say WordPress is really good if you are just a blogger or just want to put pages out there. But if you actually want to sell, Shopify, there's a few more. I'm not sure which ones are UK specific, but there's definitely others like Wix, Squarespace. They all do the same, essentially, where it used to take thousands of pounds of dollars to create a website. Now, you know, for less than $50 a month, you can have that all done for you. And it's essentially just drag and drop. So someone like me with no design knowledge, you can just use themes that are already built, and just, plug your data into it and away you go.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. So what kind of advice would you give for someone just starting out, and kind of based on your experience of, because you said it took a little bit for you to come up with the idea and to learn about Shopify, just kind of what advice would you give anybody just starting out?
If you're just starting out, if you are actively looking for a product, I would say there's 3 things that make a business successful, which one is the product. If you have a standout product that nobody else is selling, then obviously you're going to get some traction. But you don't have to have that killer product to actually grow your business, because the other side of it is you. If you're an expert, or if you're personable, or if you have a strong brand in yourself, people will resonate with you and people will buy from you. And then the third one is your business. So if you have a product that's the same as somebody else, you're not really an expert in that field, but actually your business does something different, maybe as a customer service point, or offers an extra layer to that product, or a sort of a separate accessory to that product, then you can build on that. So for example, in my jewelry, obviously I've got a USP in the jewelry being for people with sensitive skin, but also we offer returns, happiness guarantee. So not many jewelry companies, especially earrings, they won't accept returns, because obviously we can't resell them. But we trust our product, so we know that we'll get such a minimum amount of returns that it's worth it for us to have that, to offer that trust. We try and go at it from all angles, but that's one thing I would think, if you're looking for something, which angle are you going to go down? Don't be put off just because you don't have this amazing product that nobody else is selling, because that's quite rare these days.
Yeah. And what I love about your business is that you focus on customer satisfaction. Like, that's what you pride your business off of. And you're right, like many jewelry stores won't take things back. So that's incredible that you're able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with starting an e-commerce, obviously you need to have supplies to sell. So how do you start, for a person who's just starting their e-commerce business, how did you start creating enough supplies to sell?
I mean, just start off by, well, you can have one product that sells really, really well. If you're a one product store that people just need that one thing. But I guess for jewelry, things like that, you need a wide range for people to, because everyone has different styles. So for people to find their exact jewelry. So it kind of depends what business you're in. But I mean, for finding things, if you want things made in the US or in the UK, obviously go out to other businesses in your area and sort of try and dig into where do they get their things from. But if you buying from China or Thailand, places like that, companies like Alibaba, the others elude me, but you know, things like that where they have a large listing of wholesalers and manufacturers, and just doing a simple Google search for your product and then wholesale or manufacturer at the end of it can give you some good results. My manufacturer actually just went dark on me last year. So it was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'd spent all this time finding the right one, the right quality. And then they just literally disappeared overnight. And this was just before I was about to quit my job. So obviously the really bad timing. and I really struggled to find it, but I stumbled across one just on Google. So yeah, just searching for it.
Wow, yeah, that would be stressful.
Wow, yeah, that would be so stressful. So did you quit, like, so you had a full-time job. Did you quit your full-time job and then go right into running your own business full-time, or was there like an overlap there?
Yeah, so I actually ran the business as a side hustle for a good 4 years. I started it early on in my finance career, so I think I might have been an assistant accountant or something like that. And then within sort of the 5 years, I've become head of finance. So I was kind of like the finance director level, where I wanted to be as a career. At the top of what I could be. I could have gone on to bigger companies, of course, but I always thought that next step would give me that satisfaction. And because I was getting good pay rises, it was hard to then focus on the business, because that was just sort of ticking along, paying for a nice holiday now and then. But once I realized that actually the sort of unlimited potential in the business, and I just got a bit more confidence in myself, because you know, you do suffer from imposter syndrome. You think, why would a guy sell jewelry? Or sorry, why would someone buy from a guy selling jewelry? So I really hid behind the brand. But once I got over that sort of internal issue, maybe, I don't know what you want to call it, but I guess block, the roadblock, I'm removed that. And since then, there's the sort of, I wish I'd done that 5 years ago, because where the business could be now. But, the things I've learned from my finance career, I've taken in. So don't ever think it's too late. I think some of the most sort of successful people, business owners, actually started in their 40s and 50s. So, it's like, it's true. Never too late, but just get started.
And you're also a new parent too, so congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Has that affected your decision for running a business, or did you have your child after starting your business full time?
No, so my son is 14 months. That was one of the key sort of drivers of me to quit my job. So obviously I had the business in the side. Like I said, I'd struggled maybe with motivation to do that. I was so busy. I was working, obviously as a sort of a finance director, I was working long hours, then hard to come home and focus on the business. But once I realized, this is not a good sort of lifestyle to be bringing up a child. I want to be involved. I think I want to champion sort of other fathers and dads to do the same, because I think it's just a given that the guy goes out and works, and that's how we feel almost. And it doesn't have to be like that. But that was definitely the driver to quit. I can take my son swimming. You know, I can take an hour here and there to sort of to play with them. It's really, really nice. So yeah, it's one of the most important things.
That's awesome, because that's also what we promote too. Like, we felt the same way. We wanted to have that freedom, and especially for Steph, for having a child too. So it is a big motivator, because why work while they're growing up when you can spend time with them? So it's incredible.
Exactly. That was my motivation too with my daughter. She's 2 right now. So yeah, that's so inspiring. That's exactly why I did it too. So what kind of struggles, you talked a little bit about some of your struggles that you've had, but what did you do, I guess, to overcome? Because I feel like a lot of people, they just get stuck. Once a struggle happens, then, you know, you hear people, they just want to give up. Like, do you have any advice on how to keep going forward and just to overcome any challenges that anybody might have?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it took me a long time to actually realize that this is the right path to go down. You kind of think, you know, my business is never going to get like that, you know, or other people got lucky. But once you actually just focus on yourself, you know, I read. So I used to have quite a large commute, a long commute, sorry. So it would be an hour and a half there and the same back. Sometimes sort of I was traveling even further, so I spent a lot of time in the car, which was wasted unless, well, if you listen to the radio or whatever. So I used to listen to audio books, and then when I got to where I was, I would spend my lunchtime just implementing what I've learned. When I got home, doing that, and it gave me the confidence to actually think, I do know what I'm doing, or what's the worst that can happen? You know, I'm not running Amazon, so if I make a change and it breaks, it's gonna, you know, everyone's gonna go mad. I've got such a small business that I just need to implement it and get going. So just improving yourself and learning, and just having that mindset. You know, you can get yourself into a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. If you work on that and start thinking about growth, you unlock so much sort of potential. I guess other issues we've had, you know, I'm currently kind of stuck at home. I've had to quickly convert the garage, so there's boxes and stuff everywhere. You know, when you actually get growth, that has its own challenges in terms of stock levels. You know, you start thinking, well, that's great. I'm sort of freer than I was, but actually last night I was working quite late. But I guess, you know, it's then thinking some business owners end up working more. So it's having that, right, I'm going to shut off what's important to me. So I always want to have breakfast and dinner with my family, and that's that time boxed off. You know, nothing gets in the way. Yeah. But you know, the other times you've then got to put in the work, and if you just rather watch Netflix, then, you know, you're not going to get there. So it's having that mindset of, right, this needs to get done, and I'm going to do it. And luckily I'm quite motivated, so I don't tend to procrastinate much. But I can see why people do, but yeah, just keep going.
That's awesome. So how did you start marketing your product?
So at first, obviously, family and friends buy it, and they kind of get the initial buzz. But once that dies down, I think that's where people struggle. And especially if you don't have a lot of money, you think, well, I don't want to spend money on Google advertising or Facebook advertising, because unless Facebook and Google Facebook definitely has data to start with, it needs that money to test. So it is almost wasted money. If you've got that money to test, great. But if you need sales straight away, Facebook's not the right channel. So what I did was looked at my keywords, so what people are searching for, obviously do blogs, try and offer as much value as possible, and focus on that before you go out and spend money on advertising. Make sure your website is up and running and captures as much data as possible. Otherwise, you sort of think about it as a colander with lots of holes in. If you put water in and there's just loads and loads of holes, then obviously it's going to go everywhere. And that's what you're doing by spending money on advertising if your website's not ready. So what you need to do is have sort of a specific website that channels people down, almost like a funnel, but it is called a sales funnel, into people, into the channel that you want them to go before you start marketing. So definitely that's just one point I want to get across. But then Google advertising is great because people are actually searching for your product. So what I did, and I didn't know this at the time, this is just reflecting backwards, is I used all that Google advertising to direct buyers to the website, but it was a limited number because there's only so many people searching for hypoallergenic jewelry. But what that enabled me to do is gather all this data of these people who want to buy, give that data to Facebook essentially, and say, find me more people like this. So then they start the disruptive advertising like Facebook ads, but only to the people who they know are like the people who have already bought. So people just jump straight into Facebook, I think, and then go, oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I think you have to think about Facebook learns and it needs data to learn. So one way that I've found is to go Google first, because there's people who are searching for it. And to make sure you have your Facebook pixel set up, obviously, so it can capture that data. You know, that's just worked for me. And email marketing as well. You know, even if you don't have a large list, you know, I went from sending 1 email a month to 3 a week.
Oh, wow.
Over the past year. And my unsubscribe rate, I kind of thought would drop off at some point, but it never has. So you just keep going, and I just focus on offering value. So and emails are essentially free. You know, well, certainly a lot cheaper. I think I pay £150 a month for Klaviyo, as opposed to thousands to Facebook. You know, and it's increasing that lifetime value. So yeah, there's lots of different channels, but.
So for having an e-commerce store, you started off with just you starting it. Have you felt like as you've grown, you've needed to grow a team, or have you been able to find a way for you to manage it on your own?
So obviously one of my key drivers is time. So as we've grown, we now have a part-time person who packs orders. My wife does all the customer service, which before I kind of did it all. And then some friends, unfortunately at the minute, a few people who've been furloughed or have been let go, and we're busier than ever. So I've been able to sort of get them in to pack orders, to unpack and stock is the thing that takes so much time. It's all this stock in one go. So yeah, being able to utilize friends and family first. But yeah, we're at the point now where we need bigger office. We need to get back into a unit, and we need to potentially start thinking about extra staff. But because of my finance background, I need to make sure that the returns are there. But my time is more important, so I don't want to be packing orders till 2 a.m. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Balance between profit and time, but yeah.
Exactly.
It's true.
And have you noticed with COVID-19, did you notice like sales, like how did it impact your business at all, like COVID-19, or did it at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more people at home searching, so my ads went crazy as it kind of got on. I think the first few weeks I was almost preparing for the worst case scenario. Like, I'm going to have to get a part-time job at the local supermarket or something like that. A worst case scenario. But it did the opposite. We've grown sort of probably 40%, 50%.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, in that time. So it's been pretty crazy. But as well as that, we've used that as an opportunity. So obviously we had more cash flow to then reinvest that, get more stock, all this other stuff that goes along with it, put it back into Facebook ads and Google advertising and just grow the business as much as possible. And we don't know what's around the corner, but you just need to make sure that 2020 is the best it possibly can be. And then I think, unfortunately, the high street is going to struggle. And I think people are more used to shopping online now. Maybe people who had never done that before have done it now, feel a bit more secure with it and a bit more confident with it. It's just whether or not the advertising, so the likes of Google and Facebook and Microsoft, they're going to increase their advertising prices because of this. And then it as people starting out, it then becomes a bit more of a struggle because you've got to invest more money into it to see a return. And yeah, it's an interesting one, but we'll see how it plays out.
And I feel like right now a lot of people are wanting to support new businesses and like local businesses as well. So I think there's this weird shift to like smaller businesses growing and some of the larger ones starting to shrink because of the community wanting to support the community and give back.
100%, yeah. It is,
Awesome.
which I guess that's a bit, so for the people working in the large retail who don't have a desire to start their own business, and that's where it kind of affects, it's quite sad. So it's trying to champion the small businesses to take on those people and grow their teams and have the confidence to do that rather than doing it all yourself, I guess is going to be key to the economy sort of surviving. But I guess that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Daniel. Do you want to tell us more about your business, promote what you want the audience to know?
Yeah, no problem. So we sell hypoallergenic jewelry for people with sensitive skin. We've helped tens of thousands of people now accessorize again. We are predominantly in the UK. However, you can order through Etsy and get it delivered because that deals with all your strange tax laws over there.
Yeah.
America. That just kind of, my responsibility is then gone. So if you want to find us, through Etsy would be great. We're uploading our stock there as we go. We're always trying to cater for all styles, and it's been a crazy journey, but it's one that I've absolutely loved, and would definitely say to anyone who's thinking about starting an e-commerce store, just go ahead and do it and learn as you go. You don't need to be perfect.
That's amazing. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have all of your social media links down below. So if you are wanting to connect with Daniel, make sure you check those out. Thank you so much, Daniel. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.